Welcome to SVG-TV's news for Thursday, September 17, 2015. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. President of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, is strongly condemning the filming of pornographic videos involving students. This comes in the wake of a video which has been circulating on social media showing a group of local students engaging in sexual activities while in their uniforms. In an interview earlier today with SVG-TV News, Robinson says that such acts must be highly denounced and the students should be admonished. Robinson advises the community to band together and help students come to the realization that such acts will hurt them for life.
That is something that must be condemned at the highest level, at the school level, at the level of the community, the home, and wherever. You know, it is something that must not be tolerated at all. These are the young minds that we have to mold for the next carry on the society. These are the future, and therefore for students to be involved in these sort of activities, we think and we believe that they must be severely punished by the home, by the school, and I don't know which instrument they use, but we know that the government gave netbooks as one of the productivity tools. But we also know that cell phones also have the capacity to do these sort of things. So it clearly shows that our students, some of them are not adhering to the proper use of the technology.
The Teachers Union president says while students must be technologically inclined, they must, however, use their skills for more positive activities. He also called on parents to monitor what their children are surfing on the internet.
They are in a technological age, and it's important that they are able to use the technology, but they must use it for productive purposes, for positive purposes. And it is very sad that these students would have used the technology for pornography, you know, and that is something that the Teachers Union condemn. And we are hoping that the relevant authorities would take the necessary action to curb the situation before it gets worse. Yes, that is why the NTRC has a mechanism in place, and the Teachers Union sits on that national committee that we look at we filter. It's a filter monitoring committee where we filter some of the bad websites. We monitor the system in school.
And SVG-TV News took to the streets today to find out what persons think of the recent pornographic film made by the students. They also had some advice for such students.
You didn't know about it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, but what do you think of something like that happening? Students themselves.
I think it's very irresponsible of them, and that's not the way you should conduct yourself as a young teenager.
Them big enough to know that they're supposed to do those kind of stuff.
Oh boy, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's what our young people come into, and that's very here in the immoral. I should not be encouraged in any way.
I don't think it's really necessary that you go out there and expose yourself, because at the end of the day you're going to regret it.
Me feel I should do it at all.
You know what? Let's let it happen on TV.
So they should behave themselves and stay in school.
And stay in school and do them work.
The parents them should take a more responsibility in their child's life, because you know sometimes a child needs someone to confide in and speak to them and tell them the wrong from the right and teach them. And I notice sometimes the children them taking a stock on their peer pressure, and also they're developing a low self-esteem.
I advise parents to monitor closely how their students use internet-enabled devices. Many of them are not mature enough to have the sense to use them properly, and it's a challenge for parents today to do this.
And what about the students themselves now? What advice would you give to them?
Respect yourself. That's the main advice. You're beautifully and wonderfully made by the Lord. Honor your own creation. Respect yourself, respect your dignity.
You know what? In the sense that to say I have girl children too, and to see something like that, it's very heart-rending, and I hope that young people will learn from some of these experiences and refrain from doing so. Because it's not nice at all. It don't look good in the eyes of the world and in the eyes of the public. Apart from that, there's a law against such in St. Vincent. I hope that they will learn from it and refrain themselves.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
I find that very disrespectful to them, themselves, and their parents, because I don't find like a mother should send her daughter to school and find out that she's doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's how I feel.
And what advice would you tell the youngsters? I mean, they probably think that they're popular, what do you think you should tell them?
It's not really a good thing, because it's going to come back and haunt your life, trust me. It's going to come back up, because when you go and look for a job, they're going to they're going to see that they saw that, and that's going to haunt you.
It is very disrespectful to the uniform and to the school, and also you're disrespecting yourself, and it's very disgusting.
Yes, and to the girl, I sure she saw what happened last term with another incident like that, and I think she would have learned from her mistakes, but apparently she didn't. But now we want her to go back and reflect about what happened. And other young girls out there, please stay in school and keep your legs closed for me, please.
Yes, and it is very disgracing to your family and your parents. They are working so hard to send you to school, and you are going with other boys who don't even care, and you're giving them sex, and it's not good. You should keep your legs closed until marriage.
In other news, the 2015-2016 law term commenced today, and to commemorate the event, the members of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court held an ecumenical service at the Cathedral of the Assumption under the theme Justice, a Matter for All. Delivering the sermon was Reverend Adolphus Davis, who reminded the members of the Law Society here in SVG to never give judgments for favor, but to always be fair and just. Following the church service, the procession was moved to the High Court, where Attorney General Judith Jones-Morgan, in delivering her speech to the bar, says that she hopes that this year will begin the process where there will be more civility, fairness and justice that will set the pace for dealing with a changing world. The Attorney General urged the lawyers to remember that justice should never be abandoned for personal gains.
Civility and manners in social intercourse are not bourgeois affectations. They are the necessary human customs for peaceful and respectful exchange of ideas. They should not be abandoned, whether through carelessness or for personal gain or for any other reason. To do so impairs civil society's capacity to deal with difficult issues, and so impairs good government. We have a society and a nation to bind and to build on democratic principles. That democracy should be protected by freedom of expression, and that democracy should itself protect freedom of expression can be accepted by powerful truths and credos. Why, however, is civil democratic society advanced or fostered by the expression of insulting calumny or personal invective? How our society develops in and adapts to the coming century will, to a degree, be determined or at least influenced by ideas and values. The law plays a part in a necessarily secular manner in the maintenance and development of the basal concepts that we should all share: tolerance, civility, fairness, and justice.
The Anderson family of New Montrose is now homeless after a fire last night around 7:30 p.m. While they were not at home at the time, all their valuables were destroyed in the two-bedroom wooden and concrete dwelling house. One of the first persons on the scene was neighbor Frank Prescott, who says he was watching television when suddenly there was a power outage in the neighborhood. Upon investigation, Prescott says he saw fire coming from the home of Anderson, and in running to see if they needed assistance, there was an explosion which he believes was a gas cylinder, a bottle. Prescott says the blast almost injured him, but he's fortunately ducked for cover.
By then we looked outside and saw a blaze coming. And as a matter of fact, I actually thought it was this next house, which is my lady friend's sister's house. I actually thought it was that house on blaze. So my first reaction is that I was coming up to see what is taking place. I quickly grabbed my water boot, put my water boots on, and I started on coming this way. But by the time I got going up that side there was a massive explosion, which I assume was the gas bottle. By then the house was already engulfed with flames. I had to bury myself for cover, and I had to root myself and go up the other side to check on the occupant, because I know they have a young baby there too also. By the time I got up on the other end, got down there, well, I inquired and I met them there up in the road, on the telephone, trying to make some calls, make some inquiries, and found out that all the occupants were out of the house and the baby was pretty okay.
Prescott expressed sympathy for the Anderson family and said that he is grateful they are all alive.
Because most of it was wooden. It takes no time to go down on the ground.
Half wooden, half concrete structure.
Well, just a little piece of concrete structure was the bath and toilet section.
Okay, how you feel about your neighbor's demise?
Well, it's a very sad situation, and the thing about it is that they haven't moved in here for a very long time. They recently got married and moved there, trying to settle themselves and put the home together bit by bit. And to wake up this morning knowing they are homeless with a young baby, it's terrible to think about. It's terrible.
The Ambrose family of Stubbs Chapman's area is appealing to the public to find a family member, Patrick Benjai Poppy Ambrose. Ambrose, who is in his late 70s, is of clear complexion and walks with a bent back. He has been missing since Thursday, September 8, and believed to be looking for his cow. His daughter, Yolande Hamilton, told SVG-TV News that since the cow was sold and butchered, he has been despondent.
We ain't know where he went, and I think he left home because of he have a cow and they sell the cow, and he just going away looking for the cow because he don't know where it is, and he take the cow get away.
So he had some issues that he wasn't happy with. What was the last thing he was saying?
I don't know. I ain't live there, so I don't know.
I understand that he was saying that you wouldn't see me again or something like that.
I ain't believe that. That is what they say. That is what they're saying. But I ain't believe that. He was attached to this cow. You know, there's somebody how you pet and so on, and then he retired from work and nothing else to do. So he have the cow, and then he just go and look at feed the cow, give him water and everything and so on, and then he will sit down around it and then rub it and so then I took mommy come and sell it, how they're going to sell it. So I tell her not to sell it because that is all he have. It children go up and gone, so that is all he have, and he attached to it. So if they sell it, whether they sell it or he meet it dead, he was satisfied if he meet it dead. But if they sell it, he will be still looking for the cow.
Amber's daughter is pleading with the public to help her find her missing father.
Any appeal, anything you want to say to him out there if he's out there looking?
I want to tell.
Okay.
I want to tell him to come home and tell anybody out there who see him, but send him back home or bring him back home and come to the police station and let him come home. Because we love our father. Look at what God has blessed us with our parents. We can't choose our parents. He blessed us with our parents, and we have to love them. We can't choose our mothers, and our mothers can't choose us. God bless us with them, and they had to choose us. They had to They had to take care of us. And if he's out there or wherever you are, puppy, please come back home. Thank you. Okay. Love to smile. He have by his work home. So by working the whole and so on, he have a back pain. So he walk on the face and he always be barefoot. He don't like wear shoes, so he always be barefoot and his clay skin.
A group of nurses who left here to provide relief aid to the people of Dominica affected by Tropical Storm Erica is now back home. The nurses were met at the E.T. Joshua Airport by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health along with other health officials. Permanent Secretary Louis Deschamps thanked the nurses for making the great sacrifice to represent this country in Dominica, and he said that it is heartening to see how the region usually comes together in times of need.
That you spent most of your time at the main hospital to allow the Dominican nurses to spend their time in the community setting. And we advise that St. Lucian nurses actually, they went from today or thereabouts, so they will take over where you left off. We're very, very happy, and we want to say thank you. This is something that we have to do for each other. It is the OECS, it is the whole region, and we really need to understand and appreciate that in times of disaster, in times of need, we have to help each other. When we suffer, the others come on board. So therefore, we have to reciprocate when the time comes. And I am indeed very happy, and I want to thank you once again and to wish you well as we continue on this journey of the delivery of healthcare. We're making every effort to improve the delivery of healthcare in this country, and there can be no doubt that healthcare is in a much better place today.
Donna Bascom, the Disaster Health Coordinator in the Ministry of Health, says that she is pleased that the nurses were given such an opportunity and that she plans on using their new knowledge to help develop the capacity of the nurses here at home in terms of dealing with large-scale disasters. She says that this will be very important for SVG since the health sector is expected to perform at its best at all times.
We have all gotten the glowing reports about your performance in Dominica. We expected nothing less. So I'm happy that you're home. I'm happy that I would now have some assistance with conducting the simulation exercises and building the capacity in health as it relates to health disaster preparedness. We know that when we look at global trends, the frequency of hazards have increased, the intensity of the hazards have increased. The only thing we can do is to try to improve our preparedness, and that is what we're working towards. So ladies, thank you team. We're happy that you're home, we're happy that you're safe.
Minister of State Julian Francis said that the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is committed to continuing its relief efforts for Dominica, adding that he is glad that the nurses were able to assist the country in its time of need.
I'm sure that you're aware that we have sent over 6 or 7 bridges, and that NEMO itself has also sent over some relief supplies for the people of Dominica, and the government has made a financial contribution, initial financial contribution, because we are committed to sending more funds to the center, because in the first 2-3 months, in the case of St. Vincent, we had persons in shelters for just about a year. I don't see Dominica getting them out of shelters before a year is complete, with all the help that they can get. And with continuous flooding, because I know that the waters came down again while you were there, and we saw pictures of it, it doesn't help whatsoever. So your contribution, I'm sure, was well received. I think Prime Minister Skerritt and his cabinet and the people of Dominica are very grateful.
Elizabeth Medford, Department Manager at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital and the head of the A-team of Ascension nurses to Dominica, says that they were very well received by the people of Dominica. She said that her team represented this country to the fullest through their hard work, discipline and warm spirits. Medford adds that the team as a whole was able to gain new knowledge that they will use to improve the measures already in place here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in reference to dealing with emergencies.
When we went to work, they were very impressed with what we did, because we actually ran the ward without assistance. And because of that, Major asked that they extend our stay so that we stay on. It was very, very educating for us. We learned a lot. We learned a lot. We learned a lot, and there are some things that we will put into place that will also help to enrich our health system here. And I want to tell you, I don't know all who had to do with the selection of the nurses, but you have given me the most excellent team that you ever can. These nurses, they pitched in. We went into work. It didn't matter the time. We just walked, and we walked, and we walked very well. When we left this morning, the piano said to us, should things get worse in Dominica and we need more nurses, we definitely will be calling on the Vincentian nurses because of the quality of work that we produce.
Medford described her experience in the disaster-affected country as life-changing.
Experience has been it was challenging, it was emotional, it was very educating and very rewarding. Although we had our pre-conferences and we had an idea of what we were going into, when we actually got on the ground, things changed. I worked in casualty 2 days, and during that time, there was a family who lost a son, and we cried with that family. It was so touching. There was one other man on psychiatry who also lost a son and went into acute psychosis. There were nurses on the ward who we went to relieve because they had lost their homes. One of them had lost their husband, but she still showed up to work because that is how critical the staffing was at the hospital. And we actually cried with those nurses. When you get there and you hear the stories of persons that have gone through all of these losses, it really touched your life.
The team consisted of 5 nurses who said that they have been humbled by their experience in Dominica.
Welcome, and I fit in very well. It was really good. My tremendous contributions have helped with alleviating the crisis in Dominica as of the result of Tropical Storm Erica. I have become a better person. From this experience I've gained a lot. And I look forward to more opportunities of this sort.
In Dominica, I work in Emory ward, which in our setting is male medical ward. So most of the day I had to work by myself and without any supervision. So experience was so great, and when I listen to some of the staff telling me the story, they lost their house, they lost their family, and they're still working without any fuss. And I see they are so strong. After I think how they're working so great, I need to learn like that too. As an individual, I need to be humble, I need to be strong like that. Because before I don't think I could think like in that level I can handle. But after I see they're working so hard and so strong without anything, I really admire them. And people of Dominica was really, really, really warm-hearted, and they welcome us so good. Every day when we go to work, they're happy. They're happy Vincentian nurses are coming.
And it was really different being here, there, to see the resilience of the Dominicans. Even though they went through that devastation, they were just together. It didn't look as though if they had gone through such devastation. And while we were on the street and they noticed our name tags, labeled volunteer, they would welcome us with open arms. And the staff on the ward, they were really warm and open to us.
For me in Dominica, we went out there in faith because we didn't know what to expect. But when we got there, it was very devastating. As Mr. Francis has said, it was 20, 30 times more than what we had in 2013. I had the opportunity to work at the accidents and emergency unit as well, and on the ward, on the female surgical ward. It was just a refresher for me after not working in a hospital setting like that. Sister Medford did very well. She's a mommy, a sister, a friend, everything. We went to Dominica together. We go places together. I tell you.
Two EKG machines were handed over earlier today to the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital by the St. Matthias Charities, Inc. Minister of Culture and former Minister of Health, Cecil Sasmaki, in his address at the handing over ceremony, says that protocol and consultation are very important in the work of the St. Matthias Charities, Inc. in order to know the needs of the people and how best they can meet these needs. Maki says that the machines will be immediately put to use for the benefit of all Vincentians. He commends Vincentians living in the diaspora who continue to contribute to the development of their homeland.
It's very important because it means that Vincentians who are living overseas, they have first recognized the need to make a contribution to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They understand the challenges that we face in small developing countries where resources, particularly financial resources, are very limited and has to be shared around in a small pie. And so they have recognized these needs, they have identified with these needs, and they have taken ownership of the process of ensuring that development takes place in their homelands, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So having recognized that, they have set about for years now to actively convert that thought, that idea, and put it into action. And what we are seeing now is that action where practically they have sourced these items and they can make contributions to the meaningful development of communities, institutions, ministries, and the peoples of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
President of St. Matthias Charities, Inc., Robert Barnett, says the mission of the organization is to reach out to the less fortunate and changing as many lives as they can here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as well as other Caribbean countries. Barnett said that they are hoping to establish a branch here and pledges the organization's continuing support to the people of SVG.
The St. Matthias Charities organization goals for St. Vincent and the Grenadines are, in short terms, to provide items and articles as needed to the hospitals. For the medium term, to provide each ward area of the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital, each district hospitals and polyclinics with an EKG machine, and to establish a branch of St. Matthias Charities, Inc. in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Our long-term goal is to produce and deliver a bronchoscope to the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital, and for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which will cost approximately $45,000 to $50,000 US.